What is up, Bills Mafia? This is Brett back with another edition of the Go Bills podcast here on the Fantasy Football Network, as well as on YouTube and Instagram. Welcome in, everybody. What a great game from the Bills, winning the game 27-17. Great fight by them. I know there's a lot of resiliency in that game. Man, just a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that should have been cleared up early on in the game, but just didn't get anything going on. Kept the Packers in the game throughout the whole entire game, but Buffalo should have ran away with this game by far, and we didn't. We really didn't. If you look at the stats in this game, Josh Allen is 13 to 25, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He should have been way better than that. This is a game where Buffalo just struggled left and right from an offensive standpoint, and on defense as well. We looked atrocious at times, but we couldn't even stop the run. This is a game where Buffalo should have came out of the gates. We're playing on Sunday Night Football in our home stadium, and we show up like this. This is embarrassing for me, and I'm not happy with this performance. And we need to figure it out fast because this is a performance that shouldn't have happened. If you look at this game, we got too involved in what was going on the sidelines of the Green Bay Packers. We need to be ready for the moment. We need to be better than this. And this is not how a championship caliber team should play. We need to play better than this because this is by far not the best game I've seen from the Bills. If you look at everything that happened, we got exposed left and right. Our run game on defense got exposed. You can now tell people that we can run all over us. And, if you have a good running back, that's the case. We looked good in the first and second quarter, and then in the second half, the halftime adjustments that we made were not good at all. We should have won this game 48-14, not 27-17, because that does not make me happy whatsoever. This is a game that should have came down to the starters being pulled in the third quarter or even the early fourth quarter, but not this. Still playing in the fourth quarter. This is just awful. A lot of missed tackles, a lot of arm tackles, stuff like that. It's just pathetic. We need to clean up the game, and we need to get better than this left and right. We got the Jets coming up next week, and we need to play better than this, or else we're going to lose another game to a team that's, not as good as us, but can stay in the game. The only reason the Green Bay Packers didn't win this game is because they didn't have any receivers. That's the only reason they didn't win this game. Buffalo could not stop the Packers on offense in the second half, left and right. There was vertical passes that were ran, and Buffalo just did not look good whatsoever. The bright spots in the game, Devin Singletary had a good game. Stephon Diggs had a good game, but he was a little bit chirpy in this game. I'm not going to lie. Coming out of the gates and giving the Green Bay Packers some momentum is not good. You need to stay in the locker room, bud. I'm sorry to say that, man. As much as I love this team, as much as I love them, I got to be hard on them too at times. You got to be smart. You got to be disciplined. You got to be better than this. This is not good. And if I'm Sean McDermott, I'm sorry to say this, but I would probably have to take Diggs out of the game at some point and just tell him, yo, you need to chill out. You don't need to be in Jair Alexander's face the whole entire game. You don't need to be committing stupid penalties. And another penalty that happened was Gabe Davis pushing Jair Alexander in the middle of the game. Come on, man. You got to be better than that. We're a better team. We're way better than them. This is like going up against a child, okay? You don't push a child. You don't put your hands on a child. You're a playoff caliber team. You're better than this every single way, in every single shape and form. You have a more talented team. You're going bigger places than they are. They might not make the playoffs. We're going to probably make the playoffs. We're definitely going to make the playoffs. We might make the Super Bowl. And you're going to perform like this on national television and look pathetic and look weak? Come on. Got to be better than that, man. Got to be way better than that. That's just embarrassing. If I was the coach, every single player would be running laps tomorrow morning. And you'd be running them around Buffalo, around Rochester, around all of New York. You'd go from Buffalo to New York City and back. And then you'd be ready for the game next week. As far as other stats going on for the Bills, Devin Singletary did have a good game with 14 carries for 66 yards. Josh Allen, 6 carries for 49 yards. James Cook, 5 carries for 35 yards. Isaiah McKenzie had 2 carries for 2 yards. Bright spots for the receiving core. Stephon Diggs had 6 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. James Cook was the second leading receiver with 1 catch for 41 yards. Gabe Davis, 2 catches for 35 yards. Singletary had 1 catch for 16 yards. And Knox with 2 catches for 10 yards. As far as on defense, the bright spots on defense was Tremaine Edmonds. Looked really good. Had some good tackles as well. Matt Milano both did a good job, but again, the arm tackling. Got to fix those arm tackles, especially going into next week. They got some good running backs down in with the Jets. And you got a guy in Zach Wilson that can be mobile. And if you're going to arm tackle like you did today, and if you're going to try and tackle with your shoulders, you're going to have some struggles, especially if they run the zone read and they run play actions passes where you bootleg Zach Wilson out of the pocket. We're going to struggle if that's the case. If I'm Leslie Frazier, I got to be talking to my team and telling them, man, you got to tackle, guys. But, man, just wrap up the ball carrier. We talk about it all the time between Red, White, and Bills, between Nickel City Mafia. We all talk about this at left and right. Tackle. Tackle with your arms. Don't tackle with your freaking head or your shoulder. Wrap them up. We talk about wrapping up the ball carriers. That's what I didn't see today. It's just undisciplined defense and not fundamentally sound defense. Not the McDermott team that I normally see. Other bright spots was Matt Milano with the interception in the game as well. But the other thing is the penalties, man. The penalties left and right. Too many stupid penalties like we talked about in the pregame show. So many penalties that we should have gotten. We should not have. It negated sacks. A couple sacks it negated. Negated big plays for the Bills. We just got to clean it up. Got to get better than that. We got the Jets next week. We got Minnesota Vikings coming up as well. 2 good teams. 2 teams that are above 500, but we got to play better than this, man. You got to play way better than this if you want to be in the playoffs and you want to make a deep run. But right now, we don't look like a Super Bowl caliber team if we're going to play like that. If we play like this, God, this season is going to be long. But we got to play better than this, man. I got to say that. Next week, we got the Jets coming up. It's a good team. We'll have a post-game, pre-game, a halftime show of that as well, as we're going to do a analysis of the Jets as well as the Bills on Friday, starting at 7:30. We'll do that probably with the Red, White, and Bills as well as Nickel City Mafia getting that started. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, as well as TikTok. And don't forget to give Nickel City Mafia as well as Red, White, and Bills some shout-outs as well, and follow them on all their social media platforms that they have as well. Let's go off the comments real quick. Starting on YouTube with the Red, White, and Bills. He said that we got exposed, and he feels like we lost. It does feel like we lost. I mean, if it does not feel good. This feeling that I feel right now is that we're not a playoff caliber team, and we are not a Super Bowl caliber team. This is not the way the Bills should be playing football. We should be outscoring teams left and right in these football games. And Josh Allen did not play good, and neither did the offense play good, and neither did the defense. I mean, every aspect of the game, we did not play good. We need to play better than this. Let's go back to Instagram with the comments, starting with Sean Kula of the Red, White, and Bills, saying we're a bunch of bums. Lokai Koi said Mafia. LJ Windicker said good game tonight. Sean Kula also said Diggs and Motor and the run blocking was the only good things tonight, as well as Singletary had a pretty good day. And I agree. Singletary did have a good game. Diggs had a good game, and the run game was great. But, again, Diggs was getting chirpy, and that's the reason why the Packers had a chip on their shoulder coming into the second half, and they played good. That's the only reason why they stayed in this game. But it could have been a lot further of a win for the Bills. They should have won by 50, not 10 points. They didn't cover the spread. The spread was 10.5. Didn't cover the spread. You're favored by 10.5 points. You win by 10. Come on, guys. This has been the Go Bills podcast, and we will see you next time for another edition of the Go Bills podcast. Until then, go Bills, and we will see you on Friday for our analysis of the Bills and New York Jets.